Well, weekly at this time, we check in and find out what Dale and Jerry have been up to. Morning, gang. How you guys
morning.
doing?
Hey, good morning, everybody.
How are you doing?
Doing swell.
Good.
Called Dale yesterday. I has a question. I need to get some equipment for our forum upcoming on Monday. And he's like, well, I'm out with Jay Hupp, and we're learning about Lord knows what.
I was doing a lot of learning.
Tell me some more about this.
So Jay was kind enough to invite me to go take a road trip with him down to Centralia, Chehalis area.
Twin Cities, beautiful.
The Twin Cities, they are absolutely gorgeous. I'll tell you, the one thing that was that stood out to me, and I'll get to some of the stories here, but their downtown core of Centralia.
That's beautiful.
It is beautiful, the Olympic Club and all that down in there, but it's a vibrant downtown section.
Yeah.
It is alive there. It's hard to find parking.
Maybe we can get the city to go down and check that out.
It was really impressive.
I have been down there very rarely, but when I do come away with, man, this is it's almost like a legit downtown.
Yeah.
Really?
Not compared to a Tumwater where
Right.
there is no downtown, or
No.
a Lacey where
No.
there is no downtown.
This is a real downtown, and these buildings are all turn of the century, still intact, have been refurbished and remodeled and what have you, and it's refreshing to go down and see that all that happening.
Yeah, it's cool.
We ate downtown, had lunch there. Purpose of the trip was to kind of pursue a couple of things. There is an old story that happened in 1919 on Armistice Day. It's a big massacre of Centralia, and it was between the Wobblies, the workers of the world, and the merchants and the citizens of Centralia during a parade, Armistice Day parade.
Okay. Wow.
And my namesake Dale Hubbard was killed during this thing. And
We're looking for a repeat
relation.
Well, that's the big question. So
We need a DNA thing.
I had some hints thrown at me in the 70s. I can recall my cousin Steve Hubbard calling me one time and yelling at me for not knowing about this. He goes, "There's a statue with your name on it in Centralia, and you don't even know about it." and that was the first I heard about it. So my dad wasn't very helpful, unfortunately, in this. He kind of filled in some vague blanks, but he wasn't too tuned into it at all. As near as I can tell, we did have my grandfather's siblings broke off, and some of them went to Centralia, and he stayed in the Des Moines area. So Dale Hubbard went to World War I, came back home from the war, and so he's marching in the Armistice Day Parade, and he chases the leader of the Wobblies, Wesley Everett, down through an alley and towards the river, and Wesley Everett doesn't want to swim the river and turns and shoots
Wow.
Dale Hubbard. And so I think there was eventually 6 people that died in this massacre. And some of it was pretty gruesome. Wesley Everett died. Now they call it suicide. He was hanged from a bridge and tarred and feathered, and
Wow.
But they called it suicide.
they call it. So there's some untold stories in this
Gotta
thing,
be
and it's a
something.
very so part of this thing is still a very touchy subject in Centralia and Chehalis.
Really?
So Jay's doing a little bit of sniffing around down there. He's doing some stuff at the Historical Society and all that. And then there's also another Hubbard that was very prominent in the community and owned a big mill that employed like 250 people and ran a railroad and all this during the early 1900s and all that. And so we went by his old home. It was called the Hubbard Bungalow or something, but it's huge. It's beautiful. I got some pictures on my phone, and is actually a registered National Historical Registry. It's registered with the National Historical Society.
Wow.
And so it's quite a place. And so he showed me that place, and there's a 90-year-old couple that still live there. They were like the 5th owners of the home. Nobody was there yesterday when we went by. But so I got the tour. We went down the parade route and down the alley where
Well, you
that
saw
all
the whole
happened.
thing. How is it? celebrate is not the right word, but are there walking paths that you can take? Are there painted arrows that
They don't
follow
have.
the path?
I didn't see any painted arrows or anything like that. They do have walking tours. Their historical society very vibrant down there. They have converted an old railway station, the old railroad station between Centralia and Chehalis, right between the two cities. It was given to them by the railroad company to the cities, as long as they maintained the building. Well, this thing is
Very
like
cool.
this thing is like a block and a half long, and is pristine. It's an old railway station. It's probably
Wow.
it is over 100 years old.
sure.
It's 150 years old. It's just beautiful. And we only spent a few moments there because I had to get back and run an errand for Jerry. So, but it was a great road trip, a lot of fun. Just I want to thank
So what
Jay.
happens if you go down there and say I'm Dale Hubbard?
And get shot?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Do
know.
people?
So
Does the record scratch and people go?
what?
Huh?
That's what I'm trying to find out. So
Statue.
I was introduced to the guy at the historical museum, and he didn't seem like he was mad at me about anything.
Well, that's
So-
good.
So, but this was, Jay introduced. This is my Dale Hubbard's namesake.
Yeah.
So, pretty interesting. Did he look like me? He had the statue up.
I know. Was that it?
Well, I don't know. There was four of us. Four of them.
Uh-huh.
And so there's two, and then there's two on the other side.
Okay.
So it's I don't know.
It does look like it. Look
Yeah,
at that.
look, it's got a Hubbard
Ernest
look.
Dale Tubbard. Or Hubbard.
Hubbard.
Sorry.
Isn't that
Jeez,
something?
Hubbard. Come on.
I know.
You're looking pretty good.
So anyway, that was my road trip, my field trip
Oh, there he
yesterday.
is, up close. That's kind of look
There's
like
some
it.
similarities
Yeah,
there.
see him in the nose and the
Yeah.
eyes.
So I'm researching. I think I'm gonna get back on.
We need a DNA.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, maybe some DNA.
That's very cool.
And he was supposedly the nephew of this other prominent Hubbard that was there, and then he mysteriously disappeared off the face of the earth as well. After a few years after this had happened.
Oh, the plot.
So when-
What
There's
is
a lot of
happening
mystery
down
down
there?
there in Lewis County. I'm just
yeah,
saying.
what's going on down
And
there?
the Hubbard name prominently surfaces. In some
So,
of
Dale,
that.
does this mean when you go down there and you disappear, nobody will think anything
Nobody
of
will
it?
think anything of it. No. So.
All right, there's my chance.
Jerry, what have you been up to?
Well, just enjoying a day off yesterday. Dale being preoccupied with his history stuff. We've been. You don't realize how much junk you have. So we went into the. It's a garage. It's a shop.
Yeah.
And we pulled everything out. Not everything, a lot of stuff out because my husband had so many tools. And like 3 grinders. Who needs 3 grinders? I don't know.
I think if you asked anybody who has one grinder, they'd say me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could use another one.
Well,
Take 2.
surprisingly enough, one of the neighbors
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
did buy one of the grinders. But anyway, we didn't have a garage sale. We've been talking about having it. We're just trying to clean it out and whatnot. But we got people stop by and got more chatting done than cleaning. And
Of course.
so that's you just wonder why you keep so much stuff, and like old plumbing stuff, little pieces of copper and
Well, you just never know when you may use it.
well,
you might need something.
well,
You're a
I
hoarder.
got that somewhere.
yeah,
Because you're a
I
hoarder.
hear-
That's
exactly
why.
I
right.
got that somewhere. Yeah. So that that always feels good when you kind of get things cleaned out, and we,
Yes.
help the neighbors with with whatever things that they needed. And then the other thing was listen to Dale's 15 minutes that he submitted
Oh, did you get
for
your 15 minutes
the
down?
books.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yes, and the author approved. There was a little bit of a sentence that I had missed and omitted, and then the second sentence didn't make any sense because the first sentence was missing. She caught it, and Jerry and I both listened and didn't catch it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So I thanked her for the catch, but other than that, she says it sounds great.
Oh,
Good for you.
Hey, good
Yeah.
for you. That's
Yeah.
so exciting.
I went and looked up the book on Amazon.
Okay.
And I saw that it's a whole series.
Yes.
And that it's already well reviewed.
Yes,
by the readers.
She's done well with it too. So.
So that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I'm
awesome.
feeling very fortunate
Good
that
for
she
you.
picked me, and she still likes me after the first 15 minutes. So now
15.
I'm on to a chapter by chapter basis.
Okay.
And
Wonderful.
Then on
That's
the
so exciting.
Yeah.
on the high-low side of that, he submitted an audition for what was the older one?
Senior season.
and they told him he sounded too young, so he went.
Hey,
Hey, that's
that's
nice.
another good thing.
Well, I guess it is.
You never hear that.
They wanted an elderly person to do this book.
First person that popped into my head is that dude that dresses up like Mark Twain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, he would have been
And
perfect.
had I
Hal
had,
Holbrook is
had a
his name.
tempered voice to do it, but I didn't, and so I felt kind of mixed about that. I kind of felt like it was a compliment that I'm too young sounding
Sure.
to be elderly yet. So that was good.
So the rejection was
They haven't
buffered.
seen me; they only heard me. So
I love
You
that.
can click more click boxes on your applicable.
oh yeah, I've got a lot of. In fact, I've been rejected about 4 or 5 times now.
Good.
I got one
Well, You
in,
got it.
but that's okay because I'm just trying different genres and doing different things.
And you're used to that in radio anyway.
Yeah.
Absolutely, rejection is my middle name.
Yeah.
Life too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and they warned you that not everybody was going to love what you do. Because everybody's got their own way of doing things or
yeah.
what they want.
We've
so
been used to that
you
for
had
years.
a little acronym,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
His faithful 13.
Yeah.
They all need to write books, and then you'll be good to go.
Yeah.
Anything else to pass along before we
No,
let you out of here?
I missed going to the special meeting yesterday at the city, but I guess Monday the game's on.
yeah, something
for
at Superior Court or something.
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Mary
to
Lynn's got
review the recall submission.
more on that at the top of the hour in the newscast.
And we'll see you at the forum. So we're looking
sure.
forward
Monday
to that. That'll
night
be a lot
at the
of fun.
PUD
Yeah.
3 from 6 to 8. We'll have all the candidates for the city council race, and Adam over at the Journal and I have been working hard on this one, and we checked, went up there yesterday, checked the scouting for the camera positions. We'll do a run through of equipment today. Him and I are going to do a mock walkthrough with the questions tomorrow. And we
Nice.
should
All
be
right.
good to
Yeah.
go.
Sounds like you're
And,
prepared.
You are on it.
pretty prepared.
And I'm hoping that the public turns out, and this helps stimulate the people to want to vote.
Yeah.